Hello friends, this is Cold Run. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, where we're here in Ultima Thule in the Sea of Stars. Ostrakon Deca Octo. Ostrakon Henna. Ostrakon Tria. Those are Greek terms, aren't they? Maybe I'm mistaken. Braha. If Medion should strike again with such overwhelming force, I honestly don't know how we are to oppose her. I don't know how we opposed her the last time. I guess we'll find out. Ishtola. We were clearly no match for Medion, yet we survived unscathed. But how? Alphino. It is as Livingway said. I can breathe well enough, but something about this place feels wrong. I mean, this is the first time you're in a place that's not like... What is that? I was going to say a place that's not like covered with ether. That's got to feel different, even if ether isn't tangible in like a clear way. What is this? Is this like a burned planet? And if so, what's it doing so close to us? Trănge. Didst thou witness what became of Thancred? So quickly was I overcome by Meteon's malevolence that I saw naught of their altercation. I saw him take a swing, that's about it. Alize. It's so dark, I can barely see anything. Estinien. There was a dizzying, disorienting feeling about this place, as if I could lose my footing at any moment. We must be careful. Livingway. I can't guarantee it will be of help in these strange surrounds, but I've readied a provisions node in case of emergency. Thank you. Now I can mend. Not like I will. Of course, if you encounter any real danger here, I expect you to return to the Ragnarok at once. I probably doubt I'll do that. Alright, chat is getting a bit wild, so let me switch to event. Livingway. Don't hesitate to make the most of the provisions node. There's no telling what you might run into out there, or if anything we have to offer might help, but I'd personally rather brave the unknown with a full pack than an empty one. I assume this is just standard stuff. Okay. I'm all repaired up. A strange new world. So the A is an alpha, the S is a... I know that's a... I don't know what that actually means, but it's a symbol that my calculus teacher always used to indicate section. Like, study section 3, they would write that symbol and then 3. Huh. Surprised might Alphino can find no sign of Thancred. We're fortunate this place can support life, albeit barely, I suspect, given the torpid, stale quality of the air. But never mind that. We must find Thancred. Let's begin our search from the prow of the ship. It seems as good a direction as any. Try not to stray too far, lest we lose sight of one another. Yeah, I don't want to lose sight of anyone right now. This... Oh, look at that! There's like... Is it this place anchoring... Is the ship anchoring itself with like beams of light? That's kind of awesome. All right. First look, ether compass, way to the north. Their first thing is way to the north. A lesser stellar dragon. I keep thinking, like, I know how much this expansion has harkened back to Final Fantasy IV in different ways. Again, even the name Ragnarok was a was one of Cecil's main sword upgrades, and I mean it's been in the games before, but I remember it specifically as one of Cecil's main knight sword upgrades in Final Fantasy IV, like when we went to the moon. But I keep wondering if... Are you alive, friend? Are you a statue or what? No, it's a statue. But some of the statues are alive. That's really interesting. This has got to be a ruined world that... Sorry, I keep getting distracted. I was wondering if we're going to find... one of the... So the final dungeon of Final Fantasy IV was the Lunar Subterrane. It was this long cave that ended up being like a crystal palace at the end of it. And I keep wondering if we'll encounter something like that. The vitrified fort. This is I'm looking up vitrified. Vitrify. To convert something into glass or a glass-like substance, typically by exposure to heat. So it's like when you blast sand or something, it turns to glass. So this place got rocked. I mean, the Medion, before she went full goth, she was talking about all the different civilizations, and I wonder if this is the ruins of one of those civilizations, like the civilization that destroyed itself with weapons of mass destruction, because that could be what this is hinting at. Uriange. These remains have long since turned to ash, and yet they retain their form. That is interesting, isn't it? God, this like melted glass is super cool. Raha. What was this, I wonder? Is it a village? Could be a village. At high tech, yeah, kind of looks spacey. Spacey wacy. Oh, no, I don't want to run into you. Oh, I guess I'm running into you. Alizé? You see no one else in this barren waste, do you? Then why do I feel like we're not alone? Like there's another presence with us. Something dark and mournful. I mean, that's like, are you really asking that? Because it should be a super clear answer from what we just did. Ah, oh, leave me alone, Stiller Dragon. So so it's a standard dragon model, but it's, yeah, just pure black. It's that same blasted color. I actually wonder if... So I was thinking at first that maybe these were the statues come to life, but I think it's the other way around, that something about whatever fiery blast hit, maybe some of those dragons, it just turned to glass. Just, I know that's probably not how fire interacts with organic matter generally, but like, maybe this fire did. Ishtola. There's a structure here in front of me, yes? A tower of some sort, partially melted. In a strange twist of fate, it seems our perception of this place is not so different as it would be elsewhere. Yeah, I was kind of wondering why you can see this at all, because you see through ether, and there shouldn't be ether here. The world I see as I used to see it, it feels as though I'm dreaming while awake. This is more than the faded memory Medion led us to believe. Dreaming while awake. So that's another possibility. I don't think that's what it is, but there is a possibility that when we got knocked out, that we're still knocked out, that we're being held in some kind of memory of Medion's that she's showing us for some reason. Alphino. Yeah, this could not be, it could be not real, but I kind of doubt that's the case. Alphino. Ruins, but of what, I wonder? Perhaps we can find something to help us understand the nature of this place. A relic, an inscription, anything. Alright, so we got molten structure. The metallic pillar has been partially melted, likely in some time in the distant past. The damage does not appear to have been inflicted deliberately. Rather, it calls to mind the indiscriminate destruction often wrought in the heat of battle. Yeah, that lends to my theory that this is one of the worlds she visited. This is the world she visited that was destroyed by weapons of mass destruction. Braha? Look here, this part is relatively intact. The intricate design on the top suggests it is man-made, although its builders were surely not men as we conceive them. It looks like a little hat up top. Having said that, I swear I have seen this pattern before. I don't recognize it. I don't doubt you, I don't personally recognize it. I'm not sure what to make of the music here. It's like a discordant, barely audible. Like you're hearing it through like you're hearing it but through like a wall, or like with someone muffling the speakers with a cloth or something. Estinien. I thought this hill might afford a better view of our surroundings. A poor decision in hindsight. Hope you don't have a fear of heights. Oh, you're a dragoon. What am I, the silliest thing I've ever said. Besides the light from the ship, all is shrouded in darkness. If Thancred is here, I'd never know it. From what I can tell, we are near the edge of an island, if you can call it that, surrounded by floating debris. Have care should you decide to climb higher. Were you to fall, you might well tumble through the great expanse for all eternity. Luckily, I'd probably die of suffocation and starvation well before that. But I guess my body would still be tumbling, so, you know, fair point. Alphino, were you able to find anything? Yeah, not really, just scraps. As I feared, and still no trace of Thancred. I mean, this is a giant place, and we just started looking, so not surprising there. Alize, there's nothing but emptiness as far as the eye can see, which, unfortunately, isn't that very far. Though I can't help but suspect that someone or something is here. So you clearly know about Medion, so are you suspecting something other than Medion? There are times where I sense it drawing close, and then a chill washes over me, leaving me exhausted. That's another possibility, because she said... Medion said that one of her ways of examining the world, as was her directive, was by communing with the dead. So maybe these are like actual ghosts we're seeing around here, or spirits. Leaving me with feelings of death and anguish. Think I might see something over there. You mean the Stellar Dragon? I mean, the dragons have got to be a shock to... Wait, why are dragons here? Dragons are, like, not a universal... There's nothing there. What? That sent legitimate chills down me. That's... Ugh. What are you... Alize, what are you talking about? There's nothing there. Yeah, that's it. I agree, Kukushu. That look, I agree. You don't see a big black dragon? Shtola, before we jump to any conclusions, perhaps we should search elsewhere. Alphino, agreed. We found only more questions when we are in desperate need of answers. Why not you ask me what I'm seeing? Because I feel like my answer of a big black dragon, or I guess a kind of small black dragon, medium black dragon in terms of dragon size, I think that answer would, like, knock your socks off. Estinien, there's a fair stretch of terrain from the ship's port side we've yet to explore. Alphino, let's try searching there, then. I guess we're keeping this to ourselves. Yeah, Estinien, you have all the dragon vibes. Can you not? Yeah, you might see it. Kukushu, a word without the others, I don't remember. A word before we join the others. Stellar Dragon. Because the more I think about it now, like, what are dragons doing here? Like, dragons are a pretty specific... They have a pretty specific history. They're not just some race that populated all the stars in the galaxy. Estinien. You see them too, don't you? The dragons. Yeah, of course you'll see the dragons. But why is no one else? As I thought, their presence is tenuous at best, but there's no mistaking it. No doubt your bond with Midgardsormr and mine with Nidog is what allows us to perceive them. Ah! I'd forgotten about my bond with Midgardsormr. That makes sense. Could these apparitions be related to the dragons that now live on Etheirys? I mean, probably. It seems unlikely that a genetic mutation would cause this same spawn of dragons to spawn in two different places. So maybe this was... I mean, because maybe Midgardsormr, like, tried a couple of... What if this is... No, that seems unlikely. Maybe, though. Oh, okay, so let me stop. Okay, so anyway, before I start vague explaining, so my thought is, what if... Remember that world we saw in the Omega fights against, where we fought the vision of Omega's memory of the unbeaten Midgard-Sormer in his prime on that world? What if this is that world? What if this is like the old home of the dragons, and these are like the remnants who I don't actually remember why Midgard-Sormer left that world, like what caused him to seek a new home, but maybe this is that? This is that old Midgard-Sormer homeworld? Bah, better to leave such conjecture to the others. In any case, we must be careful. We may soon find dragons they can see as well. Because it could be death and anguish. What happened to them, I wonder. Because both those theories I had aren't incompatible. It is possible that this is the Midgard-Sormer dragon homeworld, and that it's the world that destroyed itself with weapons of mass destruction. Like, it could have been the dragon civilization that did that here. I don't remember enough about the dragons to... I'm sure there's something in their lore that contradicts that, but that's... Right now, with my shaky memory, I can't think of what would cause that to be a contradiction. Got white dragons too. And they're like phantasmal also. Sake Losk, Bololo. No, let's talk to them. I don't know if they're going to acknowledge me even. In the time before, I soared across our skies, north, west, south, east, no wind swifter than I. Now those skies are lost to me. Say Losk, Full Olo. Thou art unlike the others. This place ill befits thee. Do not tarry over long. Who are you? The telling of my tale alters not its course. If thou knowest my brethren once ruled these skies, will our kingdom return? Should I boast that I was the first among our hunters? Will the comrades I failed live again? Nay, once I lived, and now I await the coming oblivion, nothing more. So you are dead. What is this place? This is not our home. To our home did come the metal demons, who of life and joy scoured it clean. These are mere bones, and among them we rest our wings forevermore. Leave us now to our mourning, traveler. Thou wilt find no solace here. So if there was a war, and it sounds like there was, or some kind of mass destruction, it wasn't caused by the dragons. There was some other faction in place, some metal demon wielding, not metal demon, some high-tech civilization, I guess. Seth Tosk, to dwell on the past yieldeth naught. Our desires meant little to our destiny, unless now. Yet regrets find me nevertheless. This is not what I expected. This is I won't say it's the last thing I expected, but it certainly wasn't anywhere on my list. Nosk. Long ago, these hatchings were marked by song and merriment. Alas, such joy will never be ours again. Nay, we shall curse the machines that stole all we held dear unto the end of time. The machines that stole... Yes, the machines again. Neshor. Ere the metal came, my kin were many and splendid, elegant worms like unto ripples on the water, worms possessed of limbs so powerful as to rend the land in twain, worms I have long since forgotten, faces lost to the tides of time. Unfortunately for them, you can't kill the metal. The metal will live on, and so they had a rough time of it, it looks like, as a result. Kol Ale. Drink not of this spring. Tainted are its waters, and thy dainty form hath not the capacity to withstand it. I thought I was a bruiser, but no, I guess not. Not by their standards, anyway. And this one's alive, but... What are these rock beds that you're in? Is this a grave and this is where your spirit is at rest? And this water is like, yeah, this is like that... If you see water that gets super polluted, it starts to look kind of rainbowy. What is this place called? Reatara. Raha. Dragons. 'Tis true they are not of our world, but to find them in a prison of despair... How do you see the dragons? I thought no one saw them. Or maybe you see the white dragons, but not the black ones. Oriange. Surely mine eyes deceive me. This cannot be possible. Yeah, so something about the black ones is fundamentally different than the white ones. Like something about their nature or existence. Stola. My sight may have been restored after a fashion, but I fear what I see cannot be trusted. It's as if Medion herself has etched these images upon my heart. I doubt not that such a feat is within her power, given that she has constructed the sanctuary herself. Has she? I guess she has. Alpha no. Look there. Are those ghosts, do you think? Maybe? Estinien. Seems these dragons have yet to succumb completely to the darkness of this place. So you think that's why the black dragons are black, because they've succumbed to the darkness of the place? Meaning the others should see them as well. You seem pretty confident in that, so I'll take it as, like, that's the truth. Alizé.
Dragons? Here?
Right there with you.
What you see is a memory of a world that once was.
Right. Okay. So that was correct. I mean,
A world
they're telling me
suffering
that.
a slow death, whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion.
What? Their world is dead?
And why are you not killing us?
It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness.
Hold on. What you see is a memory of a world that once was. A world suffering a slow death whose denizens cried out for the release of oblivion. Their world is dead. It is. Not a single life remains upon that husk floating in the vast emptiness. What's weird is that what I'm trying to parse is that it sounds like she's talking about somewhere else. It doesn't sound like she's talking about the world we're on right now. Nope, didn't mean to do that.
These creatures are shadow and shade, perpetuated only to suffuse dynamis with their unending lamentations.
So this is like almost like a purgatory afterlife waiting room.
Where is he?
A strange question. He is at your side, is he not?
What's going on?
Oh yes. He is here and there, and everywhere within this space. He would tell you himself if he had form to form words.
So this really, I mean, and when we were on our way here, they said this was nothing, like nothing was here. So I was thinking at first that that's like it was just a really good cloak and there's actually stuff here, but no, it seems like this is a different plane of existence. That this is something entirely different from just a planet. This is some conglomeration of spirits and memories, something like that.
Huh. Such loathing and uncertainty. You don't know why you still exist.
No, because I don't know why you haven't killed us, more than why we still exist.
In like manner to the oblivion I send, I tried to drown out your ether with dynamis.
Okay.
Beginning with this Thancred, who came at me despite being unable to breathe.
He's a feisty one.
Such a simple thing, unmaking men. In the blinking of an eye, he was gone. Didn't even have the chance to be transformed.
So you're saying that he was unmade, and so his essence is still here. It's just diffused throughout the area? Is he conscious?
Yet somehow, he managed to leave a slither of himself behind.
Okay.
What you call the heart? Or perhaps the soul. In his final moment, he cried out from it. A single word.
By the way, there's no... Well,
Survive. That wish proved stronger than the despair that ruled here. It overpowered it, causing this space to be remade.
Yeah, there was no thought in my head that Thancred's gone or Thancred's dead. It's just not... It's not like a remote possibility. So the wish proved stronger than... And again, I keep thinking also about what Dynamis was in Final Fantasy XI, which was, it was like this dream alternate reality type world. And so it seems like that's sort of... The fact that his wish remade this place lends to that.
Into a place you can perceive, and where life can endure. That you draw breath is proof that his soul lives on. For how long, however, remains to be seen.
Okay.
Well then, we should hurry and tend to business. Huh?
It was a good effort. I mean, it's reasonable. Just try to kill her right now.
It's futile. You will never reach the true me.
Yeah, so this is just a projection.
I told you. Emotions dictate reality in this space. Such changes as you might work will not alter in its nature.
People are pretty good at emoting.
You may see, but you cannot touch. Walk, but not advance.
Meteion holds too much sway here. How do we contend with a foe who can unmake us on a whim?
I mean, it's limited, though, because, again, she clearly... I can't see why she... If she had the power to unmake us right then, I can't see why she wouldn't just try again. Something about Thancred's existence is keeping her at bay? I don't know.
I do not know. But Thancred gave his life that we might come this far. We must press on.
Agreed. We cannot turn tail here. Not without something to show for our comrade's sacrifice.
Temper, again, it's just, they're talking about his sacrifice. 0% chance he's just gone and dead and we're not going to see him again. So it's not something I'm really sweating at the moment. Absolutely going with the plum purple dye. Alizé. He can't really be gone, can he? Meteion herself said his soul persists, that he's the reason we're still breathing. If so, then maybe... Yeah, I agree. Estinien. My aim was true. I had her. How are we to defeat an enemy we can't attack? She definitely indicated that she has a true form and that emotion is the key to getting to it. this may be a case where we literally need the power of friendship. Raha. Hard to believe Thancred was able to overcome Medion's will. Yet here we are. Would that the price for his victory had not been so high. Stola. His will was strong enough to reshape Ultima Thule that we might survive, that I might see him again. The sacrifice must not be wasted. Alphino? I understand now why the Loporrits were surprised to find that this environment could sustain life. There, but for Thancred's sacrifice. Yeah, because it couldn't sustain life, and then because it couldn't sustain life before that moment. Okay, Urianger. On Burdెned wings, you're going with the Greek lettering. Was that? That's I don't remember what. I don't remember what the names of those letters actually are in Greek. On Burdెned wings, despite Medion's words, Urianger cannot accept his comrade is gone. Soul without body, a form of being with which we are not wholly familiar. Indeed, for we existed in a similar state when residing in the first. Oh, that's a good point. The circumstances are rather more dire than that, 'tis true, but I choose to believe he is not forever lost to us. He's not. Don't worry. Regardless, in sacrifice he hath afforded us a chance to prevail. Let us not squander it and ascertain the nature of this realm, that we might confront and defeat Meteion. Estinien, Kukushu, would you accompany me in speaking with these dragons? Mayhap they can enlighten us. I would ask the rest of you to survey these surrounds. If there is a path that may lead us to our quarry, we must find it. Good idea. Alphino. Very well. We can reconvene here when everyone has finished. Meteion said these dragons are shadow and shade from a world whose denizens sought oblivion. From a world whose denizens sought oblivion, but it sounds like the dragons themselves didn't seek oblivion. It sounds like they were the victims there. As such, they're not like to be amenable to company, let alone conversation, so please be careful. They're ghosts. What can ghosts do to us? Let us split up and gather what knowledge we may. Gather information on Rayatara. Say Losk. A visitor not of this star, could thy slender hands bring plague to our world, thy breath extinguish life's feeble flame, oh, how we would adore thee. Alas, so yeah, so you, never mind, you are the ones crying out for oblivion at this point. And with time our flesh shall wither, our souls fade, and so we wait for its inexorable march unto oblivion. If thou art not come to hasten our demise, I bid thee leave us. We crave not companionship, only silence. How long have you been here? Full Olo. Thou art unlike the others. This place ill befits thee. Do not tarry over long. So we've talked to you already before about that stuff. Seth Tosk. To dwell on the past yieldeth naught. Our desires meant little to our destiny, and less now. Yet regrets find me nevertheless. Excuse me, I'm a little bit late and a little bit tired. I'm yawning, or stifling yawns. Combe Nosk. Beyond that distant veil, paradise lost. So glorious, so beautiful. We were a proud and noble race, strength embodied, we knew only love, for they came. Metal monstrosities of black and silver, no bonds of blood did they share, nor conviction that they have to guide them. Were they drones? Was this just like a drone war against you that, like Skynet, not Skynet, but like a, what do you call it? Like some of those things, like a war from a civilization that was dead even? I don't know. A crushing defeat. Never had we known such shame. Stilled now are the winds, though none could fill these wings burdened by ignominy. We fly no more, only sink into oblivion. I did not see you before. Way Thesk. Quite a long tale you have. Thou wouldst bid me speak. Folly. I observe the lesson of stone. I shall not fly, nor speak, nor roar. Only watch and wait and end. But one sight yet stirreth my blood, tempteth me to raise my voice in lamentation. Omnol, the cradle of unsung dragons. No words, no songs are possessed of the weight to describe such tragedy. Go, if that be thy will. I shall remain. So maybe some, yeah, history sort of thing? Search for the source of the dragon's woes in Omnol. I will go search. So this is Omnol. What did he call it? Unsung. The cradle of unsung dragons. You actually mean a cradle, like thing that holds the babies. Yeah. And some of them have broken open. Estinien, they led you here as well, did they? It was described to me as the source of their woes and proof of their end. I think I'm beginning to see why. Why are some of the eggs still there? And some are broken open. I guess I'm less surprised at the ones that are broken open than the ones that are still there. Maybe, I mean, my refrigerator can attest to the fact that just because an egg isn't cracked doesn't mean it's going to have life inside it anymore. It's a hatching ground, or was. I've seen similar on Aetheris. Midgard Sormer's kind must have once lived and thrived in a place such as this. Dritra said his father was driven from their ancestral home by war and strife. Ah, so actually what we learned in game did back that up, not contradict it. This then is the fate of those who remained. Let's have a look around here. Maybe these eggs have more to tell of what happened here. Shattered dragon egg, and there's probably going to look at the whole one. No, we're not looking at the whole one. Inside the shattered egg, you find the remains of an I didn't even see that. The remains... That's heartbreaking. Its mouth is open, and the way it's... Remains of an unborn dragon. The body has already begun to decompose. The gelatinous, half-dried membrane covering the corpse suggests it failed to emerge. Shattered dragon egg. A murky liquid is pooled inside the eggshell. The noxious feeder is indicative of contamination. Feeder's got to be a word for smell, right? Again, I'm looking this up. Feeder, yeah, strong, foul smell. I wonder if it has any relation to the word fetus. Probably not. Maybe. Gingerly lifting a large egg from the viscous mire, you peer inside and see a formless mass soaking in a pool of embryonic fluid. That's a sentence I would have been perfectly happy to never read in my life. Your stomach turns as you return the egg to its resting place. What about this one, though? I mean, the fact that there's two eggs that are... Again, for all I know, there could be corruption inside there. The egg appears to have been broken from the inside out. Perhaps the dragonet was within succeeded in hatching. What's this? I thought all the eggs had been ruined. If the dragonet was indeed hatched, there is no sign of it here, or its sire for that matter. I'm so sorry. We should look for them. You start with the cliff tops, I'll search the plains. So there might be... Again, the fact that this seems like it's like this nothing stellar shell dragon. Yeah. The fact that this is like a dream state makes me even less certain, rather, even more certain that we're not going to find anything happy, because it's not a dream state, but it's like, it's not like this is some blasted planet where I don't know, it doesn't, this was nothing before Thancred. Like, I don't think we're just gonna find a dragon, like, looking for fruit and, like, eating and growing up in harsh conditions. I don't think this is real. Or maybe it's real, but I don't think it's... I don't know how to say it. These are, like, more memories and... Malformed dragon, yeah. So we're gonna have to kill the dragonet. Oh, God. Oh. Bereaved dragon. The boisterous howling hath been quieted, by thy hand, I presume. Yeah. Everything all right. I thought I heard a dragon or something resembling one. It was... I really don't think these are actual... That was like a flesh and blood dragon. Ah. I see what happened here. Was that your child? Yeah. Bereaved dragon. Perhaps. Some eggs within Omnol are indeed mine. If life within one did quicken, the beast thou hast slain may be of my blood. Yet I do not recognize it, twisted and malformed as it is. Not a dragon in truth, but a reminder of our failure, a testament to our shame. Yeah. Explain. They descended from the heavens, cold, heartless machines, and with them rode war and death. We don't know about Omega's origins, do we? This could be like Omega's people. I mean, we know that there was a war between like the Omega types and the Midgard-Sormer types, so maybe I guess, I mean, that actually, it doesn't even seem like a far-fetched of a theory. It actually seems pretty likely that the machines they're talking about are the Omega race. With fire and fury, rage and rancor, we gave answer. It was a long and bloody battle, but only the beginning. Untold chaos and destruction swept over the star. In the end, the invaders were victorious. Yet when they looked upon their prize, they deemed it unfit for requisition. We were abandoned to our ruin. The survivors sought to put away their shame, to rebuild, a futile effort. Just the world was, oh God, seeing that dragonet there in the right side is just, oh, it's killing me. In purest soil replete with ether did we once cultivate our nesting grounds, but our lands were barren, and any eggs nurtured in such desolation were fated to rot. This explains why Midgard-Sormer sought a land that had ether. Probably one of the very few. What few survive to hatch and emerge as abominations. We shall have no new progeny. But there are dragons among you capable of journeying to other stars. I get the sense that Midgard-Sormer was special. Oh, never mind, maybe not. That there are, but many would make the attempt, each bearing a clutch of eggs. The richest stars were home to the harshest rulers, and the arrival of dragons incited contests for supremacy. When the fires faded and the wars lost and won, they too were reduced to ash and waste. So they did go, and Midgard-Sormer was one of many and one of the lucky ones. I'd say lucky, but boy is that relative given what happened to the dragons and once they got to our world. It is the curse of those who seek life, to be drawn into conflict, to conquer or be conquered. A vicious cycle we now choose to break. We tire of conflict, of everything. We wait now in sweet, merciful silence, free from strife and suffering, still as stone. How much of this is your actual, sincerely held belief? And how much of this is... I think it's probably a mixture. It's probably a sincerely held belief, and it's probably that mixed with the despair that with the nihilism that Medion is pumping out. Wait, you claim your kind is doomed, but there is another star. There is another. Did she not hear us? Did she not care? Victory music, we did it. Boy, we should be triumphant. Yeah, it's just gone. It's just, it's stone, as it said. Estinien, a test of will. The bereaved dragon has fallen silent, leaving Estinien to sigh with frustration. They want only to brood in silence, to be left alone with their grief until time itself comes to an end. I bet you can relate a little to that. The sole reward for senseless bloodshed, a pain I understand and wish that I did not. Yeah, what fools we were. But now isn't the time for such thoughts. The others will want to hear what we've learned. Come. You'll notice that the two side quests that were here before, are no longer here. Those I'm going to be handling in a separate video, but I will be doing them. So, or I have done them and I will continue to do them. Estinien. With luck, they'll have learned something to help us devise a plan of action. Trănge. I chanced to gain audience with several dragons ere we return, though I expect their tales are much the same as those you heard. Yeah, nothing happy. Just a lot of bad memories. Alize, good to see you've made it back in one piece. The more I see of this place, the more bewildering it becomes. Yeah, I was saying in the... I mentioned this in the little side quest video, but I noticed during one of the loading screens that the sky is filled with just destroyed planets, which just emphasizes to me that this is like a dream memory state rather than being at least necessarily or a physical location in the same way that Aetheris is a physical location. Raha. Did your exploration prove eventful? Converse with any dragons? I did, and it was depressing. Y'shtola. We would hear what the dragons had to share with you. Even if it is of note different from what they told Trănge, it would have value. Alphino. Were you able to establish any meaningful contact with the dragons? I don't think so. I think it was like talking to someone who's going to forget you as soon as you walk away. Alphino. I see. They wish to escape what they perceive to be a cycle of conflict. Thank you, Kakushu. Estinien. As for our part, I believe we are more acutely aware of our confines than before. We started by traversing the perimeter of the island to see if there might be a path leading off of it. Sadly, there was nothing to be found. Estinien. There's no small amount of debris floating about. Could there be enough to serve as a bridge to lead us elsewhere? I don't think it much matters. Alphino. I considered that, and so I tried throwing a stone onto a potential platform to judge its integrity. But it never reached its mark. Yeah, okay. As it crossed an invisible threshold just beyond the boundaries of this island, it vanished, only to reappear above me and fall at my feet. I would not be too quick to presume what we see outside this space is as it appears. Yep. Alize. Which is why I returned to the Ragnarok and asked the Loprits to search for a potential path. However, the ship's instruments failed to provide conclusive data on the surrounding area. Until we know more, I think it's too risky to attempt flying to another island. Very much so. Raha, what Medion told us before, that emotions dictate reality here, might be the key. But I'm not entirely sure what emotion might manifest a bridge to lead us to safety. Maybe it's a strong enough desire to create a certain outcome, but that's not really an emotional thing. That's, yeah. Estinien, so what you're saying is we've no way forward. Y'shtola, at present, aye. If it is indeed emotion that governs this island, perhaps it is not Medion's, but the dragons that holds us here. So we do need to get him therapy. We need to get him therapy, break the cycle of conflict, and then they'll be like, wait, we're not trapped here. And then we'll actually not be trapped here. They tire of conflict and have chosen a path of oblivion to escape it. Or rather, they have chosen no path at all, meaning there's no way for the dragons or anyone here on this island to advance. Raha, a sound theory, disheartening though it may be. Yeah, nice job, Ishtola. Alphino. If that is the case, what recourse do we have? They're not like to be persuaded to help us. Their reasoning is built on a history of turmoil and strife. Without irrefutable proof, the future is not as bleak as they believe it to be. So what will prove to the dragons that... I mean, like, can I get my little... I don't actually... Again, this is probably from a while ago. There might have been some resolution. Was there any kind of resolution to what happened to the Midgard Stormer that was always looking over my shoulder? I feel like he could be useful here. There probably was. I'm forgetting where that plot ended up. Ishtola, mayhap persuasion is not the answer. Medion meant to unmake us then and there on the Ragnarok, and she would have succeeded if not for Thancred's determination. She conceded it was strong enough to overpower the despair that otherwise rules Ultima Thule, and reshape it to a degree. Perhaps it can be done again in like manner by overpowering the prevailing emotions. I thought that's what he meant by persuasion, but she's just saying a different kind of persuasion. We have to show them, make them feel something different. But I thought that, I think that was kind of what, I thought that was what Alphino was saying. Trαnge was Ultima Thule's architect, Medion herself, against whom Thancred did pit himself in the clash of wills. Though I marked no leader among them as such, I did chance to encounter a dragon possessed of despair far more potent than most. Sort of a blasphemous potent, a blasphemy level of potency, or light warden-esque dragon. Potent enough mayhap to dictate the course for others, and thus their domain to follow. He spoke but few words carefully chosen, their tone and timbre alone threatening to rend my heart in twain. Challenging his desire to remain may allow us to alter the island upon which we stand. So we have to find the Keystone Dragon. Alas, I fear my vaunted rhetoric availed me not against his calcifying heart, but maybe one of you will fare better. Is Puddingway on the ship? I feel like Puddingway can break through. Then I shall guide thee. Alen, they call him in the dragon tongue. Thou wilt find him nearby, eyes fixed upon the water. I'll say, well, what have we to lose? Let's get going. Also, I'm sad I didn't get my Dragoon up to level 90, because I feel like Dragoon would have been a good quest for this, a good job for this place. The man, just aesthetically at least. The moon is far more... The moon. The, Oh, what's up, Estinien? Is it hitting Estinien because he sees his own, like, past despair echoed so much here, and so it's hitting him hard? Hello, I'll end. God, the dragons are just beautiful. I love the texture on their scales.
As he was when I first approached, entombed in melancholy.
I see. Perhaps I could...
I'll handle this.
The Dragon Whisperer.
So, waiting to die like all the others, are you?
Our pride is crushed and our souls corrupted. The winds are stilled and the heavens offer no comfort. Love the voice. There is nothing left for our kind. Our long lives a curse as we await the end. Still as stone shall we become.
So you say. Yet your kind has found a new beginning on our star. One of you braved the expanse, bearing with him a clutch of eggs. They and their children now rule our skies, their song heard by all.
It makes me... I don't know why this makes me smile. Just hearing Estinien talk about this so proudly almost. It makes me very happy. Our kin on another star. And yet, upon thee do I smell the blood of my brethren. Were they drawn into discord and war on their new home? Yes, but then they were drawn out of it.
They were. They suffered much, and repaid their suffering in kind.
Don't end there. Tell the rest of the story. It mattereth not whither we fly. Ever will a sanguine ocean await us. Ever will retribution's wheel turn. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to cut him off. And so on as the last of my pride as a dragon. I break free of this wheel. Did we know before now that a group of dragons in this game is called a pride? Oh, no, never mind. That's... I'm being a dunkus. He's saying, like... By the... Like, as for this... Like, I'm... To keep my pride as, like, I won't beg just to survive. Like, that kind of pride, not like a pride of lions. Sorry. I break free of this... It's a horde of dragons, right? That's what a large group of dragons is, or... I don't know. I break free of this wheel. I renounce conflict. Exile myself from the other, never again to be touched by the flames of hatred.
Had your brethren made the selfsame choice, my family might still be alive.
I like this, because he's validating what he's saying. He's not saying, no, there's sunshine and rainbows at the end of this. Everyone can be happy. Like, he's acknowledging, like, yeah, like, there's... You could have done that. You could do that, but I assume there's a but coming.
Yet lasting peace does not come to those who simply retreat from conflict.
Or a yet coming.
No. You must be willing to confront it. To stare into the face of your foe.
That Heavensward music. Ah, I love this game.
Can you break the cycle of torment and tragedy? This lesson, a dear friend taught me at the risk of his life. There is no nobility in your penance. You wallow in self-pity. And after everything we've endured, we will not let you stop us.
Why are you breaking out the lance?
Estinien! Stay back.
That is interesting. We tire of war, we tire of turmoil. That dignity tarnished, crimson stained. Our misery, our shame, too much to bear. That crow form is what Medion took. Release us from war, from life. Not crow, but whatever bird that was, the blackbird.
I see. This is the emotion that bars our way. The rest is up to you.
Is this going to be a fight? No.
No! Not Estinien too!
There's a wind.
Oh, hi, pigeon. He doesn't like my new chair because there's no backrest for it where he can kind of just perch behind me. So, no, got him this chair. Sorry. So that is wild. I don't know. No, I didn't mean to. So how do I... There. Theirs is the emotion that bars our way. So theirs, I'm assuming, is the dragon. The rest is up to you. So when they turned into that swirling blasphemy smoke, or that transformation, that Akasha smoke, that despairing Akasha smoke, was that Estinien absorbing it? And like almost using his positivity to negate it instead of be overwhelmed by it? Not his positivity, but his lack of despair. His determination, his experience. Because he's definitely coming back. Like that's not the end of Estinien. Like there's not, again, it's not, I can if I were Kakushu, I would assume that's the end of Estinien. I mean, maybe not, because this is a dream world. This is like, it's hard to say what's real here, so maybe not even then, but something about what Estinien did there, the way Estinien interacted with them, caused the despair to break and caused that oblivion to break, at least briefly, at least for the moment. There's a wind.
He's opened the way for us.
And here, Alphino thinks his best friend is gone forever. Quite reasonably. That's not an unreasonable thing.
Remake this place, like Thancred did.
But if it's possible also that I'm wrong. It's possible that that was Estinien's major goodbye, and it's possible that we'll never see him again, except in flashbacks. It's possible that Thancred's gone and we'll never see him again, except in flashbacks. It would be shocking to me. It would be utterly shocking.
Oh, Alphino.
Estinien, it's been too long.
Come. Let us follow the wind. It will not lead us astray. He would not.
He would not. Ah, those two. And I like that there are special relationships within the group, that it's not just a matter of everyone is friends equally. Like, there's clearly a special relationship between Alphino and Estinien, that there's not between me and Alphino, that there's not between me and Estinien. Like, those two have something special that, that is not shared by everyone else. The group dynamics of the Scions are complex. They're not just the hero and their admirer. They're not just Kakushu and their admirers and her admirers. And the music has changed now too. Become a little bit lighter. Sightseeing point. Also, an interesting note here is that the first ether current is often very close to the start of a zone. The first ether current is not on this island. Like, there was no wind on this island. It was such a stagnant place that there were no ether currents here. I wonder even if there... I mean, this is a place basically without ether, so I wonder if they're going to address that at all in terms of, like, the flying ether current mechanic. Probably not. I think it's just a gameplay thing, but still, I don't think it's unintentional that there were no ether currents on this first island. Ostrakhan Deca Octo. This sector is a recreation of the 18th civilization encountered by Medion and her sisters. Ruined and desolate, the world it represents was once the abode of a proud race of dragons who were driven to extinction in a titanic struggle against mechanical invaders from the Alphatron star. Did we know that term before? The Alphatron star? Because that's where, like, Team Omega was from. So this sector is a recreation of that civilization. The 18th civilization encountered by Medeion and her sisters. This is such a cool friggin' place. And I was listening to Grinding Gear play through Stormblood, and they were talking about one of my least favorite zones in the game, which was Azizla, and how that felt very final boss area, or final level. It felt like the final level in the game. And this feels like a final level too, but not in a negative way. That Azizla was, maybe it's just the beauty of it, because this is, God, the purples and the green and the blue and everything is bright, whereas there it felt like you were... Look at this thing. Whereas there, it's heart-stopping. Whereas there in Azizla, it felt like you were in just a smog machine, like pollution and all. I don't know. I didn't like Azizla. Ishtola. Must this always be the price paid for safe passage? Yeah, it seems like every time we skip an island, are we going to get to... Is it just going to be like one person's going to die, one person's going to get extinguished every time we have to hop an island? Alizé. If I had known this place would claim Estinien too, No. It's what had to be done. That's what Estinien would say. It's what he did say. Trαnge, as by the beating of mighty wings doth wind blow, where dragons may ne'er touch the sky, he and the shade he bore shall soar free. As by the beating of mighty wings doth wind blow, where dragons may ne'er touch... He's saying that he's riding dragon, that he and the dragon have broken free of the cycle, they think, and they're just free and happy forever. God, what if he actually is dead? That's just hitting me now. That would be, I mean, oh my God. Is it possible? It's possible he's dead and we haven't seen the last of him. It's possible he's dead and we'll get kind of a final spirit burst, or it's possible we'll beat Medeion and like the veil will be lifted and all that happened here will be not undone, but will be like their spirits, their essences will be reconstituted or something. I'm leaning towards that. If he's dead, again, I'm going to be shocked, utterly shocked. Grahatia. The wind has stayed the fog that covered this island in the air. It no longer feels quite so stifling. The music is just making me quite happy right now. It's that, like, hints of possible hope. Alphino. Look there, the wind. I see it. This is Estinien's doing, I'm sure of it. We should ride its flow and see where it leads.